YouTube wheelers, and welcome to a new clip where I'm finally going to share with you my skate collection. Now, starting off, I actually wanted to basically get you acquainted with the surprise in that thumbnail. So let's get started. Now, you remember that a short while ago I actually received a USD AEON 60 Basic, a very killer looking aggressive skate, and recently I actually had the opportunity of exchanging those for these little beauties. Now, this is actually a slightly older model. It's the Nick Lomax Pro USD AEON 60. So what we have is the older cuff, as well as of course some of the older wheels that don't have the round profile shape but this square shape instead. Otherwise, they are actually packed with a much more premium liner. So we have the second skin liner, but the reason that I actually exchanged this was simply because I really love this color combo, and this is probably the best aggressive skate for me that gives me basically the confidence to start using this groove. So hopefully we might be seeing some royales and some front sides soon enough. Moving up, we have yet another USD AEON, this time the USD AEON 80s. Now, I've recently upgraded these with the Rollerblade hydrogen that you might have seen on another setup of mine, simply because I am looking to get some of the best feelings when it comes to urban cruising. Now, the advantage of the AEON 80s, as most of you might already know, is the fact that you get a 4x80 power blading setup with the added advantage of an H-block. Couple that with some very nice looks, a ratchet buckle to keep you extra secured, and this is probably one of the most versatile skates that I have in my collection. Up next, we actually have one of my favorite skates in my collection. We're talking about the DEM 908, the Sean Darst edition. Now, I know we have the DEM 909 and the other DEM 908s in different configurations, but for me, this is probably the best looking ones that I've had a real pleasure of using. Now, as you can see, this particular 908 has been fitted with a custom 45-degree ratchet from FR1. So if you want to check out how we actually mounted this ratchet buckle here, make sure to click in one of the bubbles popping up above. This was actually a very important upgrade because I am using this particular boot in many different setups. So on the one side, we have this 4x80 setup with the Kaiser frame that I have from my friend Flav, who's actually behind the camera right now. Flav actually told me that this Kaiser frame could have the potential to actually be one of the most fun setups there is, simply because on the one hand you get a 4x80 full flat setup, and on the other hand you also have a full plastic frame. So couple this with an aggressive boot, and you also have the ability to not only be able to rip through the city streets, but at the same time also add some grinds into your flow. Couple this with the hydrogen wheels that indeed right now I am actually thinking of moving them to the USD AEON 80s, and you have a very fast rolling setup, and this particular boot can be heavily modified. The advantage, of course, of having a UFS frame such as this one is the fact that I can quickly swap between something as fun as this to something like an anti-rocker setup that will actually allow me to feel more comfortable when I'm trying to learn new grinds that I don't feel so good at. And you can even switch it out for it to accommodate this massive 3x125. This is probably one of the best long cruising setups that I have, and you can safely tell that this particular ratchet buckle helps me a lot in basically keeping the boot as stiff as can be for me to be able to ride these monsters. So if you're looking to actually couple your urban tendencies with a 4x80 setup, as well as being able to do a grind here and there, something like the DEM 908, DEM 909 in extension is probably a go-to setup. Up next, we actually have the skates that I started this channel with. They've been with me along this journey, and these are the Rollerblade RB110. Basically my workhorse skates. No matter where I need to go, if I have doubts on the weather or what surfaces I would skate on, this has been my go-to skate for a couple of reasons. One of them being the fact that these are 3x110 setup, so it gives me quite a bit of advantage when it comes to rolling on different surfaces. On top of that, this also is a long distance cruiser, simply because we have as you can see, quite a bit of space between the wheels. If you actually compare this to the 3x125, we can see just how small the space is here compared to here at the 3x110. These skates have more or less been through hell and back, but they still look awesome. The only things that I had to change were basically the laces themselves, simply because this part right here, as I discussed in the review, has a tendency to actually cut the laces if you ratchet up too much. The wheels themselves, as you can see, they are a bit worn out because of the power slides that I've been doing, but at the same time they are in a pretty good condition, given the fact that we are talking about roughly 3 years almost of using them. Someone else joined the party. And last but not least, we have a late entry in the form of Flav's setup. Now, these are his babies, the USD Sway Chris Farmer, with a custom ground control big frame that has a 4x72 millimeter setup. Again, we are looking at a UFS setup, so that means that all of the other frames that I've shown so far are compatible with this skate. He is particularly keen on seeing how the 3x125 will fit on these. Now, the reason I'm showing this is simply because basically we are willing to share our setups between each other. So the fact that I've been riding this as well, just like he's been riding some of my setups, we thought, what the hell, this could be in the collection as well. So you're basically looking at me having my strangest fetishes, or moreover a dream come true, in the sense that over the time that I've made this channel, Rollerblade has been kind enough to help me with wheels, USD has also been kind enough to help me with some skates, and you're looking at probably all that I will ever need in terms of skates. So what can I say? I really hope that you enjoyed this. If you have your own setups, feel free to share them below in the comments, and if you have any questions, also make sure to post them below. Until next time, I will be with these babies, and I will see you in the next clip. Stay safe and skate safe. Oh.